Okay, in this video, we're going to be installing the rail on this back wall right here. The tools you'll need to do the installation is going to be a screw gun right here. In this case, we're going to need to use a toggler in the back wall. We're going to show you how to splice two rails together. Ordinarily, on a wall this small right here, we just have one single rail where you wouldn't need to do a splice, but we wanted, for video purposes, show how a splice works for anybody that might have a longer wall. The screws that will be required for this is a metal stud right here. So typically, if we understand what kind of wall you have, whether it's a concrete wall, a metal stud wall, or a wood stud wall, we provide the appropriate screws. But let's go ahead and set aside these screws right here because these are regular stud or wood screws. The screws that we're going to be using for here are going to be sheet metal screws. You have like a little drill bit at the end of it. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rail. I've already separated the rail cover off of the rail. It's a very simple process here, and this is what the rail looks like. When you go read the writing right side up, you know that's the way the rail goes, and then the flat edge goes in the bottom here. So in this case, we're going to be going on the center line of these holes. In order for me to know which hole to use, I'm going to go ahead and take a marker right here, and I'm going to mark on the rail the hole that's closest to where the stud's going to be. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. I'll place the long rail on the wall here. And we'll just go ahead and set it up here, and we'll just go ahead and mark on the rail here where the studs are. And again, this just helps me understand, oh, look at this. I got a stud right there at the end. That means I'm not gonna have to put a molly or a toggler on this end over here. This is a pretty rare occasion where the studs line up exactly where they should be, and I'll explain that in a later video. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one down. We'll go ahead and mount this rail. The first thing you wanna do is mount it to where you're somewhat centered here so you can hold the rail in position here, and then right along the line right here. So let's go ahead and set this down. Put this away right here, and I'll go ahead and start our installation. I'm gonna use a ladder here. Even though I can reach it, it's a little easier for pressure-wise to use the ladder. And you're gonna get the back side of me, probably the better side, but I'll go through here and get this installed. It also helps you have a little more leverage when you're screwing into the wall here. So that way you can drive the screw directly into the stud. As I mentioned before, this is going to be a metal stud. We're going to line that I have in the back of the wall into the middle of this, into the middle of the rail right here. This is where we're going to drive this stud. There we go. And we're just going to go ahead and work my way to the corner and then out to the other end over here. And like I said, in this end over here, we don't need to use a toggler, which is pretty rare when you come to the end of a wall. I can run this into the corner. There we go. Go ahead and the next one right here. That's right screw. You can get the screw in the end of the driver here. Couple more screws and we'll have this rail secured. Then we'll move on to this smaller rail, which we're going to have to use a toggler on that one, but we'll show you how that works. Go ahead and use this. Metal studs take a little more effort to get through because they're metal, of course, but again, these bits right here do have a screw head on the end of the bit, or a drill bit on the end of the bit to allow you to get that into the stud. I'll go ahead and put this one right into this. There we go. Okay, now we're going to install the last piece of rail on the end of the longer run. Go ahead and start it off in the center here. Go ahead and get that installed. There we go. Go ahead and put the screw over here and this other end over here. There's that one, and the last one over here. Then I'll secure our rail to the wall, and then we'll go ahead and put the rail cover on. We'll mark the location of the studs. Okay, there we are. So now the rail is installed. We're going to go ahead and install the rail cover across the rail right here, and we'll make certain we mark the location of the studs onto the rail cover itself. Let's go ahead and grab the. I'm going to use a red marker so you can see the mark on the rail cover. The rail cover has a lip on one end. It's kind of hard to see where the lip might be, but I'll go ahead and snap this rail cover over, put it on top of the rail so I can transfer the location of the studs. Hopefully you can see the red mark sitting right here. Then I'll go ahead and snap this over the rail itself. It's pretty simple to do, you just put it straight down. Okay, last piece. We'll go ahead and put the last piece up. Move our ladder out of the way. Again, I'm using the red erasable marker here, but at least you can see where the studs are on this. And actually, that's not a stud right here because there was a plate right here that we had. I made a mark on that. Oh, if I did the rail cover the right way. Make sure you get it face the right direction here, so lip up. So we'll reference this stud right there. Go ahead and do that. So I'll cross that one off right there, that one there too. And that's where the last one is. Okay, so now we've got the rail cover in place, your rail's ready to go. And the next thing you do is hang in your sides, and then the rest of it's really easy.